So now we're going to take a look at centering. This is a part of the state, but it's also pretty much a principle of Kung Fu practice. So centering yourself. Now, what do we mean by centering? You know, oftentimes you'll hear people terms like, hey, center yourself, get centered. And what the hell does that mean? There's no real practical tool or actual activity you can do to get centered, so to speak. But in Kung Fu, there is. So, with centering, there's three components. Number one is the activation of the pelvic floor. So activating the pelvic floor, but in a gentle way. To be more precise, it's not so much the pelvic floor, it's like softly drawing up from the anus. Now, the reason you do that is so that you can actually unify the body mass, get awareness down at the base of the spine, so you can start to open the spine up and sense it from the tail all the way up to the crown. So first component is activation of the pelvic floor, or otherwise known as Tai Gong. That's the term my master would use, Tai Gong, which literally translates to lift anus. So that's the first part of centering. The second part of centering, can I borrow your Carson facing that way? The second component of centering is putting your sensation into your spine, from tail all the way to crown. And that is correct, there is no spine up here, it's mostly brain, sure, but that's the space you're looking to center yourself into. Now, if you want to get even more specific, you actually center from the ground up. So from down between your feet all the way up to the crown, you become aware of that line, that meridian line in the center of your body. So you can, and that, by coming down to the floor, that'll help you get some more awareness in your legs as well, if you're someone who doesn't get too much sensation in the lower half. So, number one, softly draw up, Tai Gong. Number two, sense. Put your sensation, your concentration into the center of the body, from earth to tail to crown, so you're aware of that line in space. Now, the third thing you can use is visualization. You can imagine a line from down in the earth, up through your tail, up through the spine to the crown, like a bright white light in the center of your body. So those three components come together into what we call centering. Now, why the hell would I want to center? What's the point of that? Firstly, when you center, like I said earlier, it unifies the lower and the upper half of the body. And I'll explain that in a bit later for you guys. I'll demonstrate it for you. Secondly, you want your spine to be elongated, expanded, open. You don't want tension around your spine. The more open your spine is, the more tall, and not necessarily, as you get further into the system, you can still have your spine open and extended in a variety of positions, but initially it's easier here. By having this nice and open, your body's more robust and able to deal with incoming pressure. So as Carson puts up like a Daisai movement like this, right? And he keeps nice and centered, he draws up, feels his spine nice and tall. As I put pressure into his system, he can draw that into his spine. Whereas if he goes floppy spine, like jelly spine, which shakes it out a bit, if I put pressure in, you're gonna see it's gonna quite easily collapse it. So, it makes you more robust, yeah? By centering yourself, you unite the lower halves, you make the spine a nice, powerful pillar to absorb and rebound and give off power to an opponent. But also from an energetic, mental and emotional condition, this hits your central meridian, but also you've got what are called energetic centers or chakras. You've got your physical, emotional, mental. There are more, but they're the three main ones we work with, yeah? By centering yourself, you're bringing these three in alignment, yeah? So you're getting your body, your heart, and your mind into alignment through centering, so you're more present to what's actually happening. Now, we'll go deeper into this part of the system over time, but we also center in our intention. So that actually brings us to the next level, where you start bringing the energy of your intention into your center. So you can actually influence your body, emotions, minds, and hence your actions in the way you wish to. So, this is a bit of a theory on centering. I'll just, I'll give it as an exercise to you guys. You might as well have a crack at this if you can. So if you jump out of the way for a second. What we'll do is, if this is one that you'll need a partner for, and then jumping out of the way, like not out of the room, stuff like that. What we'll do is we'll work on the difference between no center or no Tai Gong and Tai Gong. And a few of you that have been following me for a while probably have seen me do this already. And it's just the difference in your body when someone's trying to lift you when you're doing Taekwondo and centering and not doing Taekwondo and centering. So, for example, Carson stands here. He's going to go behind me like this. He's going to close his arms around about the elbow level, and he's going to just slowly lift me up off the floor. And I'm going to do centering, and no centering, and then with centering. So, as Carson comes behind me, he puts his arms around, and then he goes to lift me up slowly. He just wants to feel how it feels as he lifts me up slowly off the floor, right? And now I'm going to softly draw up Taigong, center myself, and now he's going to try and lift me up again in the same fashion. And notice the difference, yeah? So as he goes to do it now, yeah. So what was different?
You're heavier.
Okay, that's the reaction most people give. They say you're heavier, and it's actually not heavier, it's just harder to lift. Because my weight doesn't actually, most people say heavier, yeah? But the weight doesn't change, the formation of the weight changes. So the way you think about it is, if you have a sack of potatoes, right, and you pick up that sack, you get the first half, and then the second half, in the first time you lifted me. The second time you lifted me, I glued all the potatoes together by softly drawing up from the base through activating Taigong, and I was sensing my space as well. So it's like you glue all the potatoes together. So then as you go to lift the potatoes, it's harder to lift because you're lifting it all at once. It's not upper body, lower body, it's the whole body. So why is that important? Because then when you're striking, if you're activating your center, you're hitting with more of your potential power, or even if you're blocking as well. So that's an exercise you can try with a partner. So your partner comes behind you and now they're not just trying to throw you up in the air, they're trying to feel the difference. So Carson does no Taigong, nothing, he just kind of just chills there, relaxed. And I feel like I'm lifting his upper half now, and now the lower half. Feels like you were doing Taigong a bit there. Were you?
I think I don't know how to do it wrong anymore. To be honest.
So now so you want to consciously not do it, and then he wants to actually consciously do it. He draws up Taigong, he feels his center, and then from here, I start to lift up again. So I already feel there's a unification of mass, and this actually feels harder to lift, yeah? So you can do that exercise with your partner. And actually, why don't you once you've done this exercise with someone, why don't you put your comments in the community section so we can get a discussion going on Taigong and centering. Cool, so that's an exercise you can do, and a bit of the theory around it, and we'll see you in our next video.